Good morning. My name is Minister Tina France with From the Well Ministries, and I want to welcome you to this week's edition of my Wisdom of the Week. Today we're going to talk about forgiveness. The other day I read a story about a woman whose 23-year-old son was murdered by a 16-year-old boy. And this boy went to prison, and naturally, like any family would, they grieved, and she was heartbroken for several years. And one day she asked God to show himself to her in this difficult and trying situation. And in court one day, God showed her the heart of this young man. And so she decided she would forgive him. And so she wrote him a letter and told him, "I forgive you." And he wrote her back and he said, "This has been an answer to my prayer because I've been asking God for him to somehow find a way to help you to forgive me." And so this began a relationship between the two of them. And they would write to one another back and forth. So much so that he eventually started to call her mama and she would call him son. And I thought to myself, wow, what a story of forgiveness. Many of us are holding on to hurts and betrayals that have happened to us either in the past or even right now in our present situation, our present reality. But I want you to know that God is able to heal every hurt, every betrayal, and every dark thing that has happened to you, either in your past or even now. The Bible tells us in Matthew chapter 6, verse 14, that if we forgive others, our God in heaven will forgive us. And in a lot of ways, unforgiveness is like ringing a bell tower. And bell towers, at least back in the old days, they used to have a rope at the end of the bell. And people would go in and pull on the rope so that the bell at the top would ring. In a lot of ways, unforgiveness is like that rope. You're pulling on that rope to cause the bell to ring. And every time you pull on that rope of unforgiveness, it replays in your mind what they did to you or what they said to you. And it causes unforgiveness to fester in your heart. But at some point, we have to learn how to let go of the rope. We have to ask God to help us to let go of that rope. The Bible tells us in John chapter 8, it says that who the Son sets free is free indeed. So we have to get free. And we have to ask God to help us to be free. Ask God to show us how to forgive. Because we don't want to be tied up. We don't want our heart bound with unforgiveness because it prevents us from moving forward. I know, many people say it and it's become sort of a routine thing to say, but it truly is true. Forgiveness is not for them. It's for you. It releases your heart to love again. It releases your heart to forgive so that you can move forward. So I challenge you this week, if you're holding unforgiveness against anyone who may have hurt you in the past or in your present, to let go of the rope. To let God help you to forgive them. Because in the end, it will help you and them to move forward. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next week on Monday morning at 8 a.m. for the next edition of my Wisdom of the Week. If you feel so led, follow me on Facebook, From the Well Ministries, or you can connect with me on Twitter or Instagram at From the Well Men. So until then, I'll talk to you soon and have a great week.